All right, we're going to be doing a lab on poison ivy, which is a remote access Trojan. Machines we're going to be using are this Windows XP Pro, which is going to be the victim machine. The outside attacker machine is going to be the Windows 7, and we're going to use that to email a malicious file wrapped in a non-malicious file, get them to open it up on the Windows XP machine, and from there we can do all kinds of stuff using poison ivy. We can upload malware, run programs, dump hashes, uninstall and install programs, disable services, kill processes, steal data, do screen caps and keyloggers, all kinds of evil stuff. And I'm warning you that poison ivy is an extremely dangerous piece of malware that will allow attackers to maintain a persistent connection on a victim's machine. So do not use this outside of the lab environment. And yeah, our two machines we're using again are, this is the victim machine is the Windows XP Pro at 192.168.1.175. And the external machine, the attacker machine, is the Windows 7 machine at 216.5.1. I'm sorry, 216.0. This Windows 7 is the attacker machine. Okay. And first, we're going to just to show works from the victim machine. We can ping the outside machine at 216.5.1.200. But because of the firewall protecting this, when we try to ping from the Windows 7 machine, our attacker machine, the ping will be blocked. So ping at 192.168.1.175. And that's blocked. So this is why we're using the poison ivy, so we can get around that firewall and do all our evil deeds. All right, do you guys want to take over from here?
Yeah, sure. I'll show the setup. So we now show that we have the external network, which is like our internet. We have the internal network, which is our company network. And this is the victim machine. We're gonna at the Windows XP Pro. Now we set up the poison ivy package, and in here we have search of various malwares. We open up the poison ivy, and we will establish a new server, which creates a connection from the target machine into our poison ivy server that's listening. Okay, these are the properties of the package. And we generate our file. We're going to call the file iExplorer. So it looks like Internet Explorer if anyone looks at running processes. But that's not very sneaky. So we're going to actually take this poison ivy and we're going to put it in a wrapper so that when the victim runs the program, they will actually see something else. So in this case, we're going to add our poison ivy package. We're also going to add putty. And we're going to put this in our FTP directory. We're going to call it SSH. Okay. So now we have a package in our web FTP directory called SSH. We will craft an email to our victim. And our victim is R. Miller. Give me 1 second here. I just call it great. And tell Reggie. And then we'll give him an address to download it at. And then we'll pretend we actually sent it to him. Once that's set, let's set up our poison ivy listener so that when he gets his email, he will connect to our machine. So we have a listening service. Does anyone want to take over being the victim?
Sure. I got you here.
All right, Matt.
All right, so I am Reggie, and I'm going to go open up my email for the day today. And the email I received told me to go to this FTP directory and download this awesome new program, SSH program that our friend sent us, which turns out that it's just plain old putty. Nothing exciting about that there. All right, so we can, I don't know, go about our day here. And while Reggie goes about the rest of his day, we will go back over to our attacker computer here. And we'll check our poison, oh, sorry, it's already open. Poison Ivy, and we can see our Windows XP machine right here. All right, awesome. Now that we have the Windows XP machine here, that was not the right one, sorry. We can see all sorts of different information here. We'll do it. Refresh. I can't there we go. I can't right click on the screen there. Thank you, Ron. All right, so we can see all sorts of information about this computer, the operating system that it's running, if it's connected to any work groups, and some of the hardware information. Also, if we go down to where there's services, we can see the services that are running on the computer. And we can also see a list of all of the users and their hashed passwords, which probably is a little bit scary. Other things that we can see down here too is some advanced surveillance tools. You can do keylogger audio captures, see some screen captures if they have any screen captures going on there, or even watch their webcam, which we'll go away from that. All right, so that's kind of everything that we can do at a basic level with this. You guys have anything else you want to add?
No. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes, and do not use this information for evil. Only for ethical hacking.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll cheer for
Like and
ourselves.
subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Okay, I'm gonna end that